I started TikTok back in 2020. I got my first TikTok video ever, hit 10 million views. I was a creator, and I'm also somebody who operates a brand and operate a company that's niche with TikTok.
I'm here with Gage. He is my one of my coaches, and I'm currently a junior at LSU. How you doing,
Thanks for
Gage?
having
Of
me.
course, man. So, Gage, he's a business owner, brand owner, and he's been doing TikTok for how long now, Gage?
Going on 5 years now. It'll be 5 years in March.
Awesome, awesome. And so I just want to ask you a few things about it. Know your story and what advice you can give to people either just starting or companies just starting, wanting to promote their brands online. Um, so yeah,
Yeah,
as
so
an introduction, who are
I
you a little
really,
bit?
this is something I'm really passionate about. So I enjoy actually having conversations with people talking about how they can either start TikTok shop or how they can kind of get introduced in the market and the game of TikTok shop. So a little bit about me. I started TikTok back in 2020. I have a very unique story because I was a creator, and I'm also somebody who operates a brand and operate a company that's niche with TikTok. We connect creators to brands, and then we operate that and do campaigns, do all kinds of stuff to help grow brands with TikTok and with content. But my story is a little bit different than most people because I was somebody who never grew up in a really small area, small town, never had any idea that you could even make money with video, with content. Never understood any of that. I grew up in a basically imagine a bubble of people who don't understand what the real world is like. That's the type of area that I grew up in. Anytime you kind of go outside that bubble, you're completely lost because you're so used to the norm in an area like that. I always say that we get information 3 to 5 years late. So
Yeah.
anything that's happening in the big cities, California, New York, all these places, we get it last. Well, the thing is with me, whenever TikTok was really becoming more mainstream, more users were starting to use the platform. I want to say it was around 2020. I got my first TikTok video ever hit 10 million views. Second video hit 2 million views. Third video hit a million views. And then I would say combined in views over the course of like 3 months, we eclipsed, I want to say 40 or 50 million views. We gained 250,000 followers because, and I say we because me and my best friend from high school were the ones that created the account together because
Okay.
our first viral video was a skit of us acting like that we got in a massive fight because he had done something with my girlfriend and he broke the bro code. And I lived in such a small area that I had hundreds of people that I knew texting me like, yo, did this really happen? This is wild. This is crazy. I seen you on my For You page. Nobody, and I mean literally nobody besides one person I can think of now that's probably ever even hit a million views on TikTok or any platform. So that was my start. I ended up stopping, I want to say 6 or 7 months after our first viral video. I ended up going to barber school. I was a barber for a while and then got reintroduced to TikTok because of the CRP program, which is basically where you post minute long videos. TikTok pays you a bit, whatever RPM they pay you, and then you make money based on that. I had given my account to my younger brother because he said that he wanted to try out the CRP program. So the account that had 250,000 followers, without that account, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at today. So it's very wild when you look at kind of how things fall in line. I would not be in this position if I didn't post that one video
Right.
4 or 5 years ago now. But he started doing CRP and then did that for a few months, posting Fortnite videos, minute long videos, and ended up switching over to TikTok Shop. Now, when he switched over to TikTok Shop, he was no, I'll go back a little bit. With the CRP, he was making, $6,000 or $7,000 a month doing that. And at the time, he was monetizing something that wasn't him actually going and having to work and put in a bunch of hours to make the money. So I realized that he was doing that, and then he started TikTok Shop. He had a video that did really well, made $4,000 or $5,000 off that one video. And I'm like, okay, this is a very interesting market. I'm going to learn more about this because I already had some experience with TikTok. So I learned more about that, started kind of getting my foot in the door with the TikTok shop ordeal, the whole TikTok shop thing. So my idea was I want to figure out a way that I can allow and let other people know about this opportunity. whether it's people in my area, whether it's just however many people. I want everybody to know that there's an opportunity for them, because if they're anything like me, maybe they just didn't know about
Right.
TikTok Shop. I wanted to let people know that there's other ways to make money besides just, getting up, going to work every day and
Yeah.
earning income that way, like
Right.
most people do. So got started, built out a course. And the idea of the course was, at the time I was thinking, man, if I can just get, 500 people to do this, that would be at $50 a month. That's $25,000 a month that I could make from this.
Yeah.
And I'm helping other people make a lot of money. That was my idea. Of course, that never happened. That was not, whenever you first start something, you think all these things are going to happen and fall in line. They never do. But that's how I got started. We started as a course, and we eventually started kind of shifting over to bringing in brands to help the creators. Me and John, my business partner, we moved to Miami for almost 4 months to kind of pursue this and do this, as full time as much as I possibly could. Because, like I said, I was a barber, so I have hundreds of people that's texting me saying, "Yo, can you fade me up? Can you cut my hair?" And I don't really, that's not where I'm trying to allocate most of my time to. I want to
Right.
sit here and focus on this and learn as much as I can with doing this. So that's how everything got started. And we've kind of, you're like you said earlier, I'm one of the coaches that help you out. So
Yep.
you kind of see all the things that we have going on, all the brands we have. It's way more streamlined than it used to be. So that's
Gotcha.
how
Gotcha.
very unique story of them.
Yeah. It's crazy to think that if you wouldn't have posted that first thing, you would have never really known about it.
Mhm.
Um, cool. And so, we were talking earlier, and you said that this is also an opportunity for businesses as well, because you were talking about creators themselves making money, but also a way for businesses to make money and to also get their name out there. And what do you have to say about that? I mean, is that
Oh,
something?
yeah.
Yeah.
So the way that I look at TikTok Shop is like, it's basically, it's pretty much moved and pioneered the way that brands make money as a whole through content and social media. So if you even look back at like what's going on in just in the country as a whole, during this election cycle, we've seen, President Trump now, we've seen him going on podcasts. We've seen him utilizing social media, utilizing TikTok. We've never seen a president do that before. We've never seen or seen a model
Right.
like that. And the entire underlying reason of that model is because normal everyday people want to see normal everyday people.
Yeah.
If that's who they trust. They don't trust a lot of these, the media. They don't trust these
Right.
crazy, these celebrities that are getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars. They don't trust people like that. They trust actual real people that lives a life similar to them. And that's why TikTok Shop is, and that's really, that would be the main reason I think TikTok Shop has really taken off. And another reason would be that a normal person can hop on there, make a video, and the algorithm is so good that anybody can do it. There's no matter what you are, no matter what you, excuse me, no matter what you're good at, no matter what whether it's knowing stuff about the gym or niche for anything, there's other people out there that think that way, maybe have something similar or think the same way you think, and you can make a video and the algorithm picks up on that, and you can kind of have your own little community, your own bubble of people that think the same way that you think. Because for someone like me who grew up in such a small town, there's very few people that think the same way that I think, because I'm a very big thinker. I always think the I have massive ideas that I always am thinking about. And there's very few people that share the same interests as me that think that way. And you try to surround yourself with people that are like-minded and similar to you.
Yep.
Well, in a small town, whether you're in a small town or a big city, it doesn't really matter. TikTok gives you that avenue to be able to connect with way more people, and it opens the door to a lot of people. So that's another thing I think that you got to have the creators for the brands to make money.
Yeah.
But without the brands, some of these creators wouldn't make money via TikTok Shop. But I think TikTok Shop is revolutionizing the way that brands make money, the way that creators make money, the way everyday people make money, because it's anybody that has a phone and has some Wi-Fi can pick up their phone, start making a video, and
Right.
learn the skill, learn how everything works.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I mean, it's pretty cool to see some of these companies just exploding on TikTok.
Yeah.
Um, like you were saying.
I mean, if the creators are making money, the brands are making money, so,
Right.
and the creators at the end of the day only care about making their money.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're not gonna, they honestly, a lot of them could care less about the brand. They care about how much money's getting put into their pocket at the
Exactly.
end of the day.
Yeah, definitely.
What's the brand?
Um, and so what you were saying anybody could do this. Anybody could pick up their phone. And so what are some good skills that people might want to maybe learn or pick up coming into this, or some things that they'd want to know beforehand, before even just trying it out or maybe taking it seriously?
Mm, so I think learning, having the skill to be able to understand the fastest way to learn something. I think understanding the fastest way to learn something is a skill, because there's a lot of people out there that will start something new, and instead of going and listening to people that have already done it, they'll go try to do it on their own. You have to the fastest if you're trying to get from point A to point B in the fastest amount of time and you're trying to learn something new, the best way to learn is to go to other people that have done that thing that you're trying to do
Mm,
and learn from them, learn what they did to try to get there and fast track that point A to point B. I think that's a skill in and of itself to just understand that. Once you understand that, as far as like making the content, making the videos, you have to be somebody who is consistent. You can't just post one or two videos, because just like anything, when it's your first time doing something, you're not going to be very good. But
right.
you have to be, you have to stay consistent on making your videos. You have to try to get better every single day. Mindset is massive. You have to have a good mindset when you're doing something like content. I always tell people it's usually 70% mindset, 30% content.
Okay.
And it really, when you look at why people want someone like a mentor, it's like if let's say you have the phone, you're getting ready to post your video, and you're like, I don't want to post this video because I'm worried about this. But your mentor tells you, well, why are you worried about that? Why don't you just look at it like this? He tells you a different way to frame your mind, and you're like, oh, I never even thought about that. Oh yeah,
Right.
okay, I'll go ahead and do that. So mindset's massive when it comes to doing anything TikTok shop or just anything in general in
Yeah.
life. You got to have that mindset, and don't just think the way that you think is the right way. Always listen to other
Yeah.
people's perception or perspectives on certain things. Um, I would say time management. Really, you don't have to have the best time management for something like this. You have to be able to learn, listen. I would say being able to move and recognize patterns. Pattern recognition is a big one. So understand why this video went viral and this one didn't. Um, Being able to read some analytical charts. It's not really, that gets really super deep into it, but those
Yeah.
are all little tiny blocks that if you can build up each block,
Yeah.
it's just like you're building a massive foundation. The bigger the foundation, the higher the peak can be. So, I could go on a million different things that you
Yeah.
would have to learn, but I would say stay consistent, make sure your mindset and your state of mind is not something that's going to be super negative and drag you down, and just being willing to learn and take
And
advice.
and I noticed you keep bringing up consistency. Would you, what do you think, is that one of the most important things to take in account for becoming successful with TikTok?
I mean, that's with anything. Um, yeah, you have to be consistent, because if you're not consistent, you never give yourself time to actually learn
Right.
how to do something. It's like if your paycheck every single day is going to be, or every single week, you're getting paid $1,000 every week for your job. You got to go work 40 hours a week to
Yep.
do that. If you don't go work them 40 hours a week, you're not going to get that paycheck of
Yeah.
$1,000. You have to be consistent when you go to
Right.
work every day. It's the same thing whenever you're trying to learn a new skill. You have to stay
Gotcha.
consistent trying to learn that skill. Even if it doesn't pay at the beginning, it'll pay, 10x, 20x, 100x at the end whenever you're learning a skill that's super valuable, and it's just the monetization of that skill is huge.
Gotcha. And how would you, is this like an industry that's easily to scale in, or is it hard to scale up with making money in this?
Um, it depends on what perspective you're looking at it from. If you're looking at it from a creator standpoint, um, no, it's not hard to scale. It's actually fairly easy to scale as a creator, because, like, of course, we're only really talking about TikTok Shop,
Right.
but excuse me. We're only talking about TikTok Shop, but you're somebody who's making those videos. So those videos don't just have to be used for TikTok Shop because Instagram Shop's coming out, Amazon affiliates already coming out. Like
Yep.
TikTok Shop has revolutionized, like I said earlier, the way that brands make money just with social media and online in the online space. So, but you can reuse those videos. So before you were only posting, let's say you're posting 30 videos a month, that's your schedule, one video per day. Now you can make that same video and post that video on Instagram or post that video on Amazon, post that video here, post it
Yep.
here. So you can just, all you have to do is click a couple buttons and you've posted the video to 4 different platforms instead of just one.
Right.
So that's a way that you can scale that way. Some people have multiple accounts. I used to do a thing whenever we first started as like a course and try to teach people how they can make the most money was I would always tell them, build out 3 accounts. One account's going to be for your videos and for maybe working with some brands here and there. One account's going to be for TikTok Live because that's going to be your consistent income every single day. And then the third account's going to be for personal brand. What do you kind of want people to look at you or perceive you as? Because personal brand, it is a lot to have a personal brand and try to build that up. It's just a matter of what you want them to actually see you as.
Gotcha.
But that was kind of the model that I always used to tell people if you was really trying to scale, because the TikTok videos, you can have, if you have 2 or 3 videos go viral every month, you're looking at, I mean, who knows how much money you can make. Definitely 5-figure, 6-figure month. Some people, it just depends on how crazy the video goes.
Yeah.
For TikTok Live, it's going to be that consistent income, whether it's $100, $200, $300, $400, it's going to be steady across the board if you kind of know what you're doing. And then the personal brand, if depending on how big and massive you build that up to, that can be where you get the big, massive deals and the big contracts. And then the other 2 you don't need, but you can use the other 2 to work your way across the line to building a personal brand.
Gotcha.
So that could be it. That's a model that you could use to kind of scale if you really wanted to.
Awesome. Cool. How we doing on time here?
I got about another 15 minutes of
Okay.
whenever you want.
And what has been like for, I guess, outside of the business part of this and going a little bit personal, what have been some of your best achievements or your proudest moments with doing TikTok or in this whole business as a
In
business
this whole business, proudest moments.
or biggest accomplishments?
I would say, as far as my proudest moments, I would say being able to take people who didn't know that you could make money from TikTok, didn't know you can make money in this space, and helping them make the money and
Yeah.
opening their eyes to a whole entire new world out there of how much
Right.
money or how easy money really is to be made. Whenever you're doing something like this, that's easily monetizable. Being able to pay creators, like sending them, a retainer or sending them maybe $1,000 or $500, sticking to my word, not screwing creators over. I've had brands that have not paid us, like depending on the deal, that haven't paid us or held up their end of the deal. And I've paid out of pocket a few $1,000s and just to help out the creators, because I know that they're probably not doing as well, or they're not, they need the money a little bit more than we do. And just blessing other people, I would say, would be,
That's awesome.
as far as my favorite thing on the business side of it. As far as like my biggest, like outside of business, I don't know. I would have to really strongly think about that, because there's things that I can remember, like in high school, scoring 1,000 points. That was a big deal to me whenever I would play in high school basketball. Making it to the playoffs and basketball, football, we were the first team in 20 years to make it to the playoffs or something. Like sports was a massive part of my life before any of this TikTok stuff. And I've always been somebody who's wanted to help other people. Like, for instance, I was one of the first people, because I grew up in a school, in a class of 40, 50 kids. But I was the person that they would look at that, okay, this guy goes to the gym, this guy works out, this guy does this and that. So I was always giving advice on how they can start working out. I was taking guys to the gym, stuff that personal trainers would charge money for.
Right.
And I would take them to the gym. I would help them out with their diet. People text me all the time, like, hey, what do I do here? What do I do here? And I would always try to kind of guide them in the right direction because I know what it feels like to be able to whether you're transforming your body, whether you're working out for the first time, I just know the feeling of how much better it can change you mentally, physically, just emotionally. And I always just enjoy helping people out in that regard. But I would say I have to get back on that as far as my biggest accomplishment. I'd have to really sit down and think.
Yeah, got you. And last question, I guess, since we're wrapping up on time, was this always your goal? Because I know you said you posted that video. Did you always think you would go this route? Because you said
No.
you're big into sports, but then you had that one video and you just picked up and ran with it.
Yeah, no, never ever. Even whenever I had that video, never thought this was going to be my world.
Yeah.
Um, I really didn't know, to be honest. I always knew that I wanted to make a lot of money. Then I wanted to have the money and funds. I never wanted to, when I was younger, and I still kind of think this way. I hate the idea of having to budget
Hmm.
and having to hold back on stuff that you want. Um, like I always think about it like I want so much money that I'm just buying what I want. I'm not worried about budgeting certain stuff. If somebody wants something, or if somebody I love wants something, I can just get it for them. I don't want to have to worry about Christmas, about buying gifts, about any of this stuff. I want to just be able to have the fun, say, here you go. We'll get this. And that's one thing that I really just drove me every single day. I always, even whenever I was in high school, would just think about money constantly, think
Yeah.
about money. And a lot of times that can really be, they say money is the root of all evil. And when you look at money, money really is the root of all evil because if you look at some just massive world events, recently what happened with the CEO of the that health company.
Yeah.
If you really find the underlying reasons about all this stuff, whether you're somebody who agrees with it, don't know how, don't know why you would ever agree with something like that, but whether you're someone that disagrees with it, the underlying reason all that happened was because of money.
Yep.
They wanted more money as a company. Anything you look at, it always boils down to money. Somebody robbed somebody, they needed the money.
Yeah.
Somebody kills somebody probably paid them money to do it. So like money really can be, if you don't look at it the right way, it can be a very um, problematic thing in a lot of people's lives. But it was always something I looked at and I could use for good.
Gotcha.
I would loan somebody $500 if I had $500. I would go to zero to give somebody else money. That's just how I've always been that way. And the more money you have, the more you can do and give back to other people. So I think that money was the one thing that really drove me.
Yeah.
But this is not something I ever seen myself doing. There's a lot of different sectors and fields I've looked into and learned. I've learned a little bit about real estate. I traded stocks for a while. There's a lot of stuff that I understand that have massive payouts and can have huge upside potential, but you can also lose your ass on it.
Yep.
So this is not ever something I ever could have imagined. Um, I don't really know. I don't know what my plan was. If you look back, I actually read a piece of paper the other day that I had written down, and it was basically a 5-year plan for me. And the 5-year plan was, okay, open up a barbershop, scale it, open 3 more, hire out some booth rent, just scaling a barbershop and scaling a barbershop business.
Yeah.
Um, and then owning 2 or 3 properties and owning, and that didn't happen. So
Yeah.
we're here talking right now because it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So
Pretty
yeah,
cool.
that's kind of never would have envisioned I was doing something like this.
Awesome. Yeah, that is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. Um, so yeah, I guess because I know we're getting close on time here. Um, anything that you'd want to mention that wasn't asked about?
Um, Probably about how people could start now if they wanted to start.
Yeah, I was gonna say you are a brand owner. If someone did want to learn,
If
you
if
are.
somebody if someone was really wanting to learn how they could start doing TikTok and start trying to figure out how they can monetize and make money from it, the first thing I'd recommend every single person to do would be build out your plan on what you think it's going to take. So whether your step one is learn the skill, whether step one is, join a course or community of people that's doing the same thing. Step one is, getting Wi-Fi at your house, getting a new phone, getting something, whatever your step one is for you to start recording videos and feeling comfortable, I would write out your plan and then try to follow that plan with, within the perimeters of the plan that you've written down. And then during that time and during that plan, there's going to be forks in the road that you're going to have to be like, okay, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to look this up and learn this. When you learn this, you're going to go down another rabbit hole of, oh, I didn't know that you could do this with products or do this with your videos. But as long as you're in the space learning about it, it's amazing. I mean, you learn so much stuff in such a short period of time because you're learning and you're learning a completely new skill that you knew nothing about.
Right.
But I would say build out your plan on what you have to do. And whether that plan, like I said, is joining a course or watching videos, just try to consume as much knowledge as possible. The only thing you need is phone and Wi-Fi. And
Yeah.
when you have phone and Wi-Fi, then you can start looking at how I can grow an account, how I can start doing this, how I can start doing that
Yeah.
to make money. But there is ways. Don't ever get discouraged because you don't think that there's ways you can make money. Because if you have an account and while you're learning, anybody who does it can make money. Anybody. There's billions of people on TikTok. There's 170 million users in the US that's on TikTok. There's somebody who is just like you, somebody who would enjoy watching your content, somebody that you can connect with. And I think everybody needs to start because this is the future of the way the world is revolving around. Social media.
Yep.
It's a lot of it's digital. So start now, learn the skill. That way you can have massive upside in the future and be ahead of the game.
Got you, got you. And you've grown your community to thousands of people, with multiple coaches and lots of opportunities with brands. And if someone was interested in joining your community, where would they go to join that?
So there's a few different places you could go. You can go to WAP.com and then type in TikTok Titans as the on the discovery search bar. You can go to thetiktoktitans.com and we have a short video explaining everything that we do within the server. You can join that way. You can join through Discord. If you type gg.discord at TikTok Titans, you can join Discord. Those are usually the three main ways. You can, go to Twitter, type in TikTok Titans, go to Instagram, type in TikTok Titans. We're on all the different social media platforms, but thetiktoktitans.com is how anybody can look up the URL and join if they
Awesome.
were wanting to get
Awesome.
started.
Well, I appreciate your time, Gage. Heavily enjoyed listening about your story and the time that you were able to set for me as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. Good conversation.
yeah,
Good
definitely.
conversation. Good interview, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed
So I
it.
want to thank you for that. And yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, babe. We'll
All right.
talk. Good talking to you, Garrett.
You too, man.